data were gathered.
Now it's time to tabulate all the data and we have to analyze. Let's go!
Hi, I'm Ilian JP Gadela.
And I am Hannah Mirabel.
And we are from Southern Luzon State University, Philippines. So, we are going to show you the results of the vegetation attribute data that we have gathered using some sampling technique, which is the quadrant method.
Yes.
So, if you can still remember, we had already conducted a sampling technique, the quadrant method, in Alibihaban Island. So, we measured 5 by 5 meter quadrant. But then, our group decided to continue the assessment. So, we established 9 quadrant measuring 10 by 10 meter. And that method is pursuant to DNR Administrative Order, or the Department of Environment and Natural Resources Order number 2016-26, which is the guidelines on the assessment of coastal and marine ecosystem. And one of the ecosystem is the mangrove area. This illustration served as our field guide during our mangrove assessment. So first, we established the baseline transect depending on the length of the existing mangrove cover. And then, we establish another transect perpendicular to the baseline transect. We establish quadrants adjacent to the perpendicular transect line. So those quadrants has a distance of about 10 meters each other.
All the present mangrove species were listed and determined using field guides. So this is the mangrove assessment data sheet that we have used. Here is the location, the date, time, quadrant number, coordinates, observers, the plot numbers, the transect number, elevation, vegetation type, and then this is the part where we have listed the species, diameter at breast height, tree height, total height, and the merchantable height, and the remarks that we have observed.
So for the data analysis, so we first tabulated the data and analyzed using these formulas. So for the density, the formula is the number of individuals over the area sampled. And then for the relative density, it is equal to the density for a species over total density for all species times 100. And then for the frequency, it is equal to the number of plots where species occur over the total number of plot samples. So lastly, the relative frequency, it is equal to species frequency value over the total frequency for all species times 100. And then for the dominance, the basal area of or volume for a species over the area sampled. Then for the relative dominance, it is equals to species dominance over the total dominance for all species times 100. And then for the importance value, it is equal to the relative density plus the relative frequency plus the relative dominance.
And these are the results.
My name is Eloida Esclanda, studying Master in Forestry in Southern Luzon State University, Philippines. So today, what I'll be going to discuss is the mangrove assessment data that will be acquired for the sampling technique that we use in our study. So, the sampling methodology used to gather data was based on BMB Technical Bulletin Number 5, pursuant to Section 9 of DNR Administrative Order Number 2016-26 on the guidelines for the implementation of the coastal and marine ecosystem. The species composition, as shown in Table 1 below, consisted as 15 species of 9 genus belonging to 8 different families. A total of 170 individuals were identified and measured. Species Rhizopora mucronata was the most abundant, while Brugueria cylindrica, Brownlowia tersa, and Xylocarpus granatum were the least in abundance. So, however, species belonging to the family Avicenniaceae and Soneraceae were found to be evenly distributed in the sampling site. So, in Table 1, species composition and abundance of mangroves in the sampling area. These are the family Rhizopora, and the species is Rhizopora apiculata, Rhizopora mucronata, with a total of 32 and 47. Avicenniaceae, Avicennia marina, Avicennia alba, Avicennia officinalis, with total of 2, 15, and 11. So, in family Soneraceae o Soneracea ovata with total of 15, Soneracea alba with total of 18, Soneracea cacellaris with total of 3. And then, we have Thalliaceae o family, and then the species is Brownlowia tertia with 1, Malliaceae with the species of Xylocarpus granatum with 1 also, Rubiaceae, Scyphipora hydrophyllaceae with 3, Combretaceae, Lumnicera luteria with 4, Lumnicera racemosa with 9. In Latraceae, Pempis acedula with total of 8 species. A total number of individuals is 170. So, within the established quadrats, mangrove species with successful production of seedlings and saplings were determined by its generation success as one of the criteria in determining the condition of mangrove area, in which excellent is at least 1 generation per square meter. In good criteria, 0.76 less than 1 generation per square meters. In fair, 0.50 to 0.75 generation per square meter. And the last is the poor, with less than 0.50 generation per square meter. So, the sampling period, while the remaining species being observed were undesirably gave poor condition. So, in table 4 shown the 8 species with highest relative density rank from the highest to lowest. And these are the species. Rhizopora apiculata with the relative density of 21.49, which is rank 1. Rhizopora mucronata with relative density of 23.53 with rank 2. Soneracea alba with 11.77, which is rank 3. Soneracea ovata with relative density of 8.82, which is rank 4. We have species Lumnicera racemosa with relative density of 5.29, which is rank 5. And we have species Pempis acedula with relative density of 4.71, which is rank 6. And we have Avicennia alba with relative density of 4.11 with rank 7. And last but not the least, Avicennia officinalis with 3.53, which is rank 8. So, in Table 5, shown species with highest value of relative frequency, ranked from highest to lowest. So, we have species Rhizopora macronata with relative frequency of 6.327, which is rank 1. Soneracia ovata with relative frequency of 12.245, which is rank 2. Rhizopora apiculata with relative frequency with 10.204, which is rank 3. Tempest acedula with relative frequency of 10.204 and it's rank 3 also. And we have also Soneracia alba. This is, we have 3 rank in relative frequency. So we have also 10.204, which is rank 3 also. So Avicennia officinalis, which is rank 4 with Soneracia casellaris, which is also rank 4, and Avicennia alba with relative frequency of 6.122. And the last is Scyphipora hydrophyllaceae, which is rank 5 with relative frequency of 4.082. So on table 6, species with highest value of relative dominance rank from highest to lowest. So we have species Rhizopora apiculata with relative dominance of 2.27.34, which is rank 1. Soneracia alba, which is 22.691, which is rank 2. Rhizopora macronata, which is 12.75, which is rank 3. Soneracia ovata, which is relative dominance with 10.66, which is rank 4. And the last but not the least, Avicennia officinalis with 6.99, which is rank 5. So, table 7, species with highest value of importance value rank highest to lowest. So, we have species Rhizopora apiculata with relative value of 66.96, which is rank 1. Rhizopora macronata with relative value of 52.61, which is rank 2. Soneracia alba with relative value of 44.66 with rank 3. And Soneracia ovata, which is 31.73, which is rank 4. Tempest acedula with relative value of 18.61, which is rank 5. So, therefore, the most number of species were belonging to family Rhizoporaceae, which is very common in seaward. Also, the same family, specifically the species of Rhizoporaceae macronata and Rhizopora apiculata, dominated the mangrove sampling area. So, however, species belonging to the genus Lumnicera were widely distributed in the area, which is common to meadoward and landward. At this point, Xylocarpus granatum species found very rare in the sampling site. So, thank you, and that's all.